Playing tank in Season 9 of Overwatch feels like a burden, more than ever. How can Blizzard fix this? Let's have a look. I used to love playing tank. Reinhardt, Sigma, Orisa, they were my happy place. But today, I'm no longer queuing as tank. And I've noticed that I'm not the only one. I've heard a lot of people complain about playing tank in Overwatch too, even from before Season 9. To be clear, not everybody feels this way. There are some brave souls that push through, that seem to love the pain. But overall, most players seem to avoid the tank role, like it is a support player trying to heal them. There are a few reasons for that, and I have an idea on how to fix that. I even have a very specific idea from old boy Reinhardt, but more on that later in the video. Let's run over some of the reasons first. And the first one is a social reason. When you play as a tank, you carry all of the responsibility of the whole team. In general, it kind of feels like you're a single parent on a road trip with your toddlers. You are trying to keep all the kids in check and make sure that they're all safe. All the while you're driving your car, keeping one eye on Waze and singing a song in Mandarin to stop that one kid that had too much sugar from drawing a doggy on the back seat with permanent marker. And you know what? To a certain extent, that is part of the role lore. Well, not the drawing of the dog, but the suffering. You are the defender, but it is also a bit of a group effort. You can make all the space you want, but if the DPS do not seize that space, well, it's just a lot of lost space. You can do your best to defend your supports, but if those supports' first reaction is to run away from you, it starts to look like one of those slapstick movies from the 30s. But the worst thing is, no matter what you do, you are going to get blamed for everything, even if you win. You are the problem. It's you. Again, guys, it is a team-based shooter. All need to carry our weight. Most fun games are the games where everybody helps out, where that space is used to lay waste on the enemies, and where everybody keeps an eye on the support players, even the support players themselves. We all win together, or we all lose together. That all being said, there are a lot of bad tanks out there. And it's not because they are bad players, but the tank role has become increasingly more difficult to play. 6 months ago I made a similar video, and at that point it was about the rise of supports. And the tanks needed more changes to fit in the 5 vs 5. Today, it's even worse. I generally like the Season 9 changes a lot, but they are having a negative effect on the tank role. First off, tanks are now, in a way, a support role. They need to make sure that DPS can do their job, which is not as black and white as that sounds. Just like supports do more than just healing or helping to keep their teammates alive, so do tanks. They create space by whooping ass, which I'm fine with. I know some of you will not agree. I'm in favor of the role identities being emphasized. It is what made the original game back in the day great, but currently, some of the tank heroes do not have the means to play that role. On top of some of them not being able to make a difference in 5 vs 5, now they also have to take on these Season 9 changes with a sometimes outdated kit. Some tank heroes thrive better in this new era than others. Wrecking Ball, for instance, made a huge comeback. I think he is currently the best tank we have. He did not get any changes. He is so good now because his playstyle organically fits within the new Season 9 meta. He can survive better than any tank in Overwatch right now, which is exactly what all tanks need. They need tools to survive, which is not the same thing as tools to just soak in or eat all damage like it's a bowl of Cheerios. Sigma, for example, he's doing really good right now. And that is because he has a series of abilities that help him mitigate damage while he is pushing forward. But the thing is, he's very dependent on how he uses these abilities. He needs to be smart about it, because as soon as they break his rotation, he just crumbles like a stroopwafel. Yeah, stroopwafels don't crumble, but anyways. My point is that execution helps him to make a difference. And same goes for Winston and D.Va. And depending on who is playing them, Doomfist and the Junker Queen are kind of in the same boat. Really, near the end. Just about to fall off. Booms. The Mata is also doing okay, but that is for different reasons I'll get back to in a second. Now you might think, well, that is a rather long list of tanks that do work. Well, yeah, they somehow kinda do work, until they get countered. Counterplay is an important part of Overwatch. When Blizzard mentioned a few months ago that they were thinking about testing swap tokens in Overwatch, I was kind of skeptical. In case you're not following, swap tokens kinda limit the amount of times you can swap heroes. But you know what? I'm starting to see their point. Because the tank role right now is swap fest. The enemy has an Orisa? It's fine. I'll go Zarya. Oh, they're going Zarya. Well, let me pull out Reinhardt. Reinhardt, you say? Hello, Ramatra. Punchy man reporting for duty. Ramatra is kind of doing okay right now because he is where that whole swap frenzy kind of ends. And he has a lot of poke abilities. That's why he's kind of okay. Now, there are different ways of fixing this, and swap tokens is one of them. But overall, the solution is, in my opinion at least, reworking the whole role. giving all of the heroes in the role means of mitigating the damage, without them having to hide behind the rest of the team. That would be nice. Overall, I think a lot of tank heroes, including myself, need to change their playstyle. The era of just building a shield and soaking all the damage with a rather passive ability is over. Zan's Orb, the DPS passive, and overall the Season 9 changes have ended that. That is exactly why Reinhardt is at the bottom of that list. It breaks my heart. But rather than going back to that time, I would like to see them give those heroes, like Reinhardt, a more active ability to kind of mitigate that damage. Or at least do some experiments where his weakness becomes his strength. And that's where I come in with my Reinhardt idea. What if the breaking of Reinhardt's shield causes a wave of explosive damage that hits anybody that is within a radius and pushes them back or even stuns them? Yeah, I know, more CC. But let's be honest, it is a narrow window. And it will allow him to turn that panic moment into a window of opportunity. That's when you start swinging that hammer. It's soaking with a purpose. Just an idea. What ideas do you have for your main tank hero? Let me know in the comments. Because all tanks do need tweaks, some more than others, to help them make a difference. And contrary to what I've seen a lot of other tank players say, that does not need to be in raw damage output. We do not need Reinhardts that are on the top of the damage chart. We need a Reinhardt that makes the rest of the team feel safe. We need tank heroes that, when played correctly, challenge the other teammates to step out and to play their own role. Because the most fun games in Overwatch are those games where the whole team comes together, where it just clicks. And at that point, if you lose, it doesn't even feel that bad. It still sucks though. You know. Anyways, that's it. Check out this video on why we might be playing the new DPS hero Venture pretty soon. Alright, take care of yourself, take care of each other. Bye bye.